Hello, my name is Mr. Stanton, and along with Mr. Fitzgibbon, I oversee the options process for Year 8. Hopefully, you've already seen Mr. Fitzgibbon's video, which introduces the options and the choices you have to make. I want to spend a few minutes talking about the timetable for the options process, the different routes we offer, how to complete an options form, and then what happens next. All of this information is available in more detail along with a step-by-step guide in the options booklet. So let's briefly look at some of the key dates from the options process. Hopefully on the 20th or 29th of January, you attended the parent-teacher consultation evening and spoke to your teachers about your progress in each of the subjects. If you weren't able to attend those evenings, there's still time. You can email your teachers and get feedback from them. On the 30th of January, you'll receive your options route letter. This is where we suggest the route you should follow to make your option choices. You'll also receive your options booklet. This booklet explains the process in detail, the differences between each of the pathways, and gives you details on each of the subjects you can study at Key Stage 4. On Monday, 2nd of February, we're hosting our options evening. This is where you'll be able to come and talk to the teachers about the subject and what's involved in each of the Key Stage 4 courses. Staff will be able to give you more detailed information on the courses and answer any questions. This is really useful for subjects that you haven't studied at Key Stage 3. Mr. Fitzgibbon and I will also be available to answer any general questions you have about the options and the options route. Once you've decided on your choices, follow the link on your route letter and complete the online options form. These must be submitted by Friday the 13th of February. If you don't complete the form by this point, you may not be able to give you the option choices you have chosen. At Marlborough, we have 3 options routes to guide you through your Key Stage 4 choices. Each route is slightly different and has been chosen based on what we know about you, how you learn, and the progress you've been making. None of the routes are set in stone, and if you think you want to follow a different route, we're more than happy to discuss this with you. The 3 routes are called atom, proton, and neutron. All students, regardless of their route, follow what we call the core curriculum. This includes English language, English literature, maths and science, and all of these are studied to GCSE level. You also study ethical studies, PSHCE, RSE, and careers and sport. These are non-examined subjects, although it is possible to study ethical studies and PE to GCSE as part of the options process. Our first route is called the atom route. This is the route that follows the English Baccalaureate. As we've already discussed, students have to study all of the core subjects. Then their first choice is to choose a humanity, either history or geography. It is possible to study both of these, but students need to choose their preference of either history or geography and then indicate on the notes section of the options form that they'd like to study both. Then they choose either French, Spanish or Latin from the language options. To study GCSE Spanish, ideally you should have studied at Key Stage 3. Students then have 2 open options and they choose 2 subjects from the subjects in the final column. The next option route is our proton route. Students on the proton follow all the core subjects. They then have to choose a humanities subject, either history or geography, and then they choose 3 subjects from the open option column. Our third options route is the neutron route, and this is our slightly more vocational route. Students on the neutron route still study all the core subjects. They'll also take part in the King's Trust qualification, which is a qualification made of a range of modules but builds into one big qualification. And then they will choose 2 subjects from the open option column on the right hand side. Once you've been to options evening and read through the options booklet, then made your choices, it'll be time to complete your options form. Each pathway has a separate options form, so it's important you follow the link that was sent to you on your pathway letter. The first screen on any of the options form asks you for your personal details. The next few screens ask you about particular subject choices. Whether it's languages or humanities, click next to the subject that you want to choose and then click Next. When it comes to selecting your open options, it's important you select them in preference order. The first screen for the open option will be your first choice. And the second open option screen will be for your second choice. And again, depending on which option route you are on, there will be a third choice as well. Whilst we make every effort to give everybody their choice of option subjects, unfortunately, we can't guarantee this. Because of this, every student must also provide us with a reserve option for their open option choices. This then is the final open option screen. Once you've filled in all the option choice information on the options form, the final page has a comment section. This is where you can tell us if you want to study both history or geography, or provide us with any other information that would help us to complete the options process. Once you've filled in all the options choice information, it's really important that you go back and check everything before you send the form through to us. If you click on the back button at the bottom of the screen, this will take you back through previous screens and you can double check everything before you send it through. It's really important that you keep a copy of the choices you sent to us. We suggest you do this on the blank options form that's at the back of the options booklet. Once you're happy that everything is correct, move forward to the final screen and click on the submit button at the bottom. Once all the option forms are submitted, we start the process of allocating everybody to their classes. This can take some time and we'll often need to speak to students and their parents while we work through this. Once the process is complete and we've allocated all students to their subjects, we'll send out a final confirmation at some point in the summer term. In September, all students are expected to start their selected subjects and continue studying them for at least 4 weeks. During October, we will send out a survey to parents with regard to subject choices and the progress that students are making. This is when we'll discuss any concerns. It may be possible at this point to make some minor adjustments to courses, but as many courses will be full, this is not always possible. And finally, if you have any queries or questions about the options process, then please do get in touch with us. You can speak to your form tutor, Mrs. McCarthy, as the head of Year 8. The subject teachers are a valuable resource of information, particularly for specific subject questions. Or get in touch with myself or Mr. Fitzgibbon. Equally, you can email through to options@marlborough.hearts.sch.uk and then we'll pass your email on to the best person to answer your question. Thank you for your time and we look forward to seeing you on Options Evening.